Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Hey Cajun, hey Cars, hey Hot Retarded Chick. I'm gonna give everybody just a few minutes to come into the room. And then actually tonight, excuse me. Tonight is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter live, y'all. I am like so sleep deprived and I'm about to any moment. Hey Helena, hey Sally, hey Steph, please don't say that, Cajun. Please don't say that. I don't think it's that. I've never actually had the flu before, ever. And never had the flu shot before. Isn't that something? And as a matter of fact, we grew up never getting the flu shot. And then my sister became a teacher and was required, mandated to have the flu shot. And guess when's the first time she got the flu? Go figure. And as a matter of fact, my sister now has been getting the flu every single year since she got the flu shot. Every single year. But before then, nobody in my family has ever had the flu shot nor gotten the flu. Now, isn't that something? Definitely doesn't make me believe in vaccines there. But yeah, Democrats are absolutely mandating vaccines, particularly in New York. I was just talking about this HPV vaccine, which is supposed to be for sexually active people, and they are mandating it for elementary students. And I'm like, where's the data to suggest that elementary students need this? Oh, thank you, Blank Introvert. Thank you. That's so sweet. But yeah, California and New York are out the freaking haywire with just some ridiculous, very authoritative laws that have a lot of overreach. If you haven't seen my video, I just did a video the other day about imagine people introducing legislation like literally based on what a rapper says. I don't know, like it's just so funny to me when I just kind of think about it and think about the things that have been done and that could be done by lawmakers. And so they made a whole law like based off the fact that this man was attending a gynecologist with his daughter. So if you have not seen that video, that was, I think I uploaded that yesterday. So definitely make sure you check that out. Sally said, remember what Bill Gates said about vaccines? I don't remember what he said. Let me know in the chat. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he and somebody else supposed to be doing a whole freaking African tour promoting vaccines and stuff like that? Hey David. And I didn't even do a video on this, but supposedly they're going around Africa giving out some type of vaccine. What was it? I saw it a couple of days ago. Some type of vaccine, and it's like really outdated compared to the vaccinations that we have here. And now you have more people in Africa getting the disease compared to before they were vaccinating people. So I'm like, and people really had an audacity to think they don't do that here. Y'all really had an audacity. This ain't even supposed to be about vaccines. See, Cajun got me started, okay? But y'all really think that um here with certain insurances you don't get better access to the better vaccines? Y'all really don't think in certain communities have better, like, more access to the better vaccines? Like, y'all really don't think that? Like, seriously. And then just wait till this single payer healthcare rolls out. Just wait. Some of these zip codes, y'all are not about to have the same vaccinations, the same medications, the same access, the same quality of doctors. Like, let's keep it real. If the government is doing it, oh boy, don't want to scare y'all away too fast. Don't assume I'm anti-vaccination, I'm anti-corruption, and the government writing for these vaccination companies has brought a lot of corruption, and now it's money over principle. And I feel like that has led to a very corrupt vaccine practice, vaccine whatever. I can't even think of the word I'm trying to say. So that's the real problem. And you have the government protecting the vaccination companies to the point where you just can't even regularly sue them. Like, come on, y'all. What is that? Like, let's keep it real. David said the color green is the king of the world. Absolutely. And you can see that now with how these, look at how the campaigns and stuff are being run, and Bloomberg jumping in at the last minute, and now you taking up all the slots on YouTube, and you popping up at the top of Google. And then to think so many of these key players also are involved with the media. You know what I mean? Like, why do the people involved with the media also want to run things? And why do y'all have the ability to shape how people are viewing you in the world? Who does that make sense to? Like, am I the only person that sees a problem with this? You got uh-oh. Let me do that again. You got is this my okay, yeah, that's what I want to do. You got Sink Uger. Is this his name? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Exactly, Cars. Cars said the media has their grubby hands in everything. Every single freaking thing. They are literally shaping our view. I don't want to say our view. Perception is probably a better word. But they literally have the ability to say, hey, not only do they have the ability to do some really messed up stuff, they then have the ability to turn around and write about themselves and say, hey, look, I'm the good guy. Like, so this is St. Uger. I think that's how you say his name. So he's filed to run for Congress in Katie Hill's district. So y'all remember Katie Hill was a lady probably like a couple months ago or so. She was caught, with this inappropriate relationship with staffers and all that. So I think like she ended up resigning. or whatever. But progressive pundit Cenk Uygur, founder and host at the digital news outlet The Young Turks, filed to run for Congress in California's 25 congressional district, which is the seat that former Democratic Representative Katie Hill resigned from last month after nude photos of her were published by a conservative blog in the Daily Mail. I find it so funny that they have to tell you like what type of blog posted her pictures or who posted them. Like, who cares? Like, what does it even have to do with this story? You know what I mean? That's what I be talking about. Perception. I mean, anyway, let's keep going. The Sync for Congress filing popped up on Wednesday on the FEC website a day after Uygur endorsed Senator Bernie Sanders for president. He also teased some dramatic news on Thursday and told viewers to stay tuned, but he is not commenting public on the matter, taking to Twitter shortly after news began circulating about his file to state. To our reporters, no comment. The district, which covers part of Los Angeles County and Ventura County, Uygur is eyeing, was vacated on October 28 after her estranged husband leaked and wrote on Facebook about Hill's open marriage, her affair with the campaign staffer, and an alleged affair with the congressional staffer in her nude photos. So this just goes on to talk about this. He's endorsed Elizabeth Warren. I think he's endorsed Bernie Sanders. We know the Young Turks is, according to them, really progressive. I always try to put that word in quotation marks because when I think about, what I actually think progressive means, and then what the heck I see that word attached to every single time I see that word in the media, it just never lines up or makes halfway any sense to me. So that's why I'm progressive. But now you have Cenk from the Young Turks. He's going to run for Congress. And so I'm sitting here thinking, should I give you the benefit of the doubt? Maybe you report the news so much. Maybe you're talking about this politician and this candidate and this lawmaker and this and that. And do you just wake up one day and say, well, hey, I actually think I could do it freaking better? Or are you a part of the scheme that sees all the money and the corruption that goes into politics, and you have direct access to a I would think $1 million media platform that can directly push and uphold your agenda and your campaign? I mean, thank you, Kenny. Kenny said, shout out Rhonda coming by to support your content. Thank you so much. But, at some point, these questions just come to mind. Because I'm like, what is it? Are you reporting on these people and you think, hey, I could do the job better? And then the funny part about it is he's running in LA for Katie Hill's seat, and California, now I really haven't gone to see exactly what he's going to try to do. But now, even as I'm talking about it, I'm becoming more and more interested because I can't foresee at this point, like, what are y'all even being promised out there at this point? Like, they're giving you the needles, they're letting you poop on the streets. Like, okay, I'm joking now, y'all, but still. Thank you, Baldis. Baldis said the idea of Sink running for Congress is comical. American politics has indeed collapsed. Like, I'm just confusion. Are we running out of just regular people? And um, regardless of what people want to say, I think that's why a lot of people resonate with people like AOC. And she does have a lot of people that support her. But, all these media pundits and talking heads and key players, I don't know. But hey, Andre, hey, Dorel, hey, the Midtown Pookie. But hey, Akeem. Really, Meg? I'm not going to repeat that at all. But we'll see what happens with that. I think that's super interesting. I always look at these platforms like Vice News and the Young Turks, who early on were like, or either they were doing this or they just completely had me fooled. But it was like, we're sticking it to the man. We're telling the truth. We're doing something different. We're working on behalf of the people. And just like that, they get, Charles said AOC is not regular. But just like that, they get sucked into the oligarchy. So I don't know what that's about. Like, at this point, I think people just like independent campaigns, independent media stuff, directly funded by, the people sitting at home and things like this. So, but I want to look more into his policies now, because I'm interested to see what he thinks people are, messing up or doing wrong, and what exact platform or what is he actually offering. So, but all right, y'all. So let me tell you, because I'm almost feeling, let me feel myself for a second, okay? Because I'm almost feeling like your girl might be a little prolific, might be a little bit gifted. I think that's those Nipsey lyrics. But so this was my tweet last week. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you go ahead over there and follow me at RhondaMary Vids. This was on November 25th. I said, when your campaign is obviously on its last leg, shaking my head. So this is Kamala. Last week, I think maybe not even 2 weeks ago, going to Nick Cannon's show, talking about legalizing weed and expunging felonies. Now, I made a video about this. If you were here in my live last week, we talked about this. Now, if you have been supporting me for a while, you know that I too speak about decriminalizing marijuana. I too speak about criminal justice reform. But we know what this is. Okay? Even when I talk to y'all about certain stuff, I speak about it in a certain way. And not only that, it is not the only issues that we care about. Okay? But when you go to the hip hop show, you go to the urban show, you stand by Nick Cannon with the hoodie, then you allow them to name the thing, legalize weed and expunge felonies. We know what you're trying to do, okay? And so I called it. Not only that, she was going around on a hip hop tour, going around to all the black media this last week. Now, why is that? Why would a top tier, never forget, why would a top tier candidate need to do all this, especially so late in the game, right? Especially so late in the game. I could see early on, you had Andrew Yang doing some of these smaller platforms. You had Marianne Williamson. You had Tulsi Gabbard. Who else? I know those three for sure were doing a lot of kind of just like independent media, going over there to Joe Rogan, going on Fox, just trying to get their name out there, get some recognition. But why so late in this moment? So yeah, I called it. You already have people coming out with videos, and when I say people, I'm just talking about regular people like on Twitter and Instagram and all this other stuff. You have people coming out with videos saying F y'all for not supporting Kamala Harris. People are mad. People talking about racism and misogyny. I wonder who's first going to put out some long, drawn out think piece about why America was not ready for the first woman of color president. I'll give it probably like another 24 to 48 hours before we see that. The part that bothers me is that you have so many people that are not going to recognize the truth. They just don't want to recognize the truth. First of all, being that campaigning is marketing at the end of the day. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it is. These people are salesmen. That's what they are. They are selling us a product in exchange for our votes. That's what this is. This is an exchange. Anybody that has told you guys otherwise has lied to you. And so therefore, when a company fails due to lack of people buying, you don't blame the customer. You blame the company. You blame the marketing. You blame the ads. You blame everything else but the customer. When Toys R Us starts closing all over the nation, don't get mad at us because they're not keeping up with the times. They're not, their product isn't no longer reflecting what the people want. It's not reflecting the market. This is a product. These people have to sell themselves. And so for anybody to try to make anybody feel bad for not buying a particular product, that's your fault, not ours, okay? Not only that, there was nothing very memorable or stand out about her policies. I mentioned this last week. I mentioned that if we're talking about marketing purposes, when you look at Andrew Yang and you look at Tulsi Gabbard in particular, they literally have policies that you can point at. If somebody says it, you can immediately identify those policies with those candidates. To me, that's very smart. That's very smart campaigning. You have freaking 30,000 people running. You have to do something that's going to make you stand out. And I hate to say it, but after, post Obama, it's not just going to be melanin. Okay. Melanin is just not enough. So honestly, Kamala Harris was a knockoff Elizabeth Warren or a Joe Biden. So why keep her in the race when she doesn't even have the same notoriety or name recognition as the people pushing the same exact policies with more electability? Come on, y'all. I mean, it's just science. It's just science. Okay? It's science. If Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris are basically tit for tat, both Hillary people, okay, both pushing almost a similar campaign policies, but Elizabeth Warren has more name recognition, more electability. God said 1024 Warren versus 1/4 Harris. But that's it. Not to mention that Cajun, I see you, Cajun. I see it, Cajun. I see it. Thank you. Not to mention the identity politics. Now, whether people want to just come out and just say it, like I'm going to say it, people have moved away from identity politics, believe it or not, in a lot of ways, particularly when it comes to the presidency. And you have Obama to thank for that. Let's keep it real. Identity politics, I'm not going to just jump out the water and say it doesn't matter, okay? I wouldn't lie to y'all. But I know for certain that's not on people's voting list this year. That's not on people's voting agenda. And if you haven't developed, if you cannot learn where Obama failed, where Hillary Clinton failed, and re-energize the people and give them something different and refreshing, and if you're not saying anything, you are going to fail. That's just what it is. Look at what's going on with Pete Buttigieg right now. Okay? I think I'm saying his name right. First gay, whatever. People not trying to hear that. I mean, okay, cool, whatever. But that's on nobody's top of their voting list. And then what will happen is when Black people in particular have a bad reaction, a negative reaction to these politicians that they're trying to put these identity politics on, they'll say it's us. Now all of a sudden, people not Black enough. Now all of a sudden, the Black community is the most homophobic. First of all, the Black community is the most homophobic. I would love to see, okay, we're keeping it real tonight. See, I'm just going, I don't know, maybe it's the lack of sleep, but I want to see the statistics that tells people or even allows them to say such foolishness. I don't know if y'all have been to a Black church, if you have been to a Black school, inner city school, if you've been to a black hair salon, I mean, if you watch these black TV shows, come on now. In a lot of ways, black people are being pushed as the tokenism of the LGBT community. So don't try to throw people under the bus now that it doesn't fit your agenda. Like, which one is it? You know how many LGBT running up and through black churches? Used to be the mecca of the black community. I don't know about now. So where are these statistics? What gay is the new black. And we don't even be tripping. We just let people say it. But that's a whole thing. Gay people talking about they're bringing out their inner black woman. What you think make people so comfortable to say that? That's a real thing. I think blue chicks say on Twitter. So some of these identity politics, progressiveness, y'all getting some crosshairs in there. Cause some of y'all stuff, either we is or we ain't. We ain't or we is. It can't be both. Tyler Perry, oh, really? I cannot confirm that Tyler Perry is LGBT, okay? But a lot of his movies, and we know he's like straight up millionaire, super successful with people supporting him in his movies. But y'all see what's happening with Pete Buttigieg. And the thing is, what people have to realize, particularly when it comes to the Democratic Party, you have to resonate with Black people. You have to, okay? Particularly, I don't know, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all, particularly Black women. This is why you always hear women of color. Women of color are the backbone of this democracy. Women of color this, women of color that. A soft way to say Black women without ostracizing all the others. You never hear men of color. Somebody said that. I think this was like a couple of days ago. Somebody said that. They was like, you never hear the term men of color. Y'all, I was like, psh, oh my God. I've never heard anybody say that. And if that alone doesn't show you the marketing, the pandering, the selling points, when you can literally ostracize a whole community because you feel like their vote doesn't, either you feel like their vote doesn't count, or you feel like that Black women are leading the discussion in politics. So they'll just sway everybody else. Just work on a Black woman. Everybody else will fall in line. And honestly, I think both are very offensive. Very offensive. Man, he'll say anytime someone says of color, I stop listening. I swear, me too. But you had the pandering. You have to not resonate with Black people. You have to do that. And then the fact that y'all think about this. Just think about this. And y'all let me know in the chat after I say it, if y'all can feel me or y'all think I'm just overthinking this. But think about how completely emotionally abusive and manipulative this oligarchy has to be to put in our psyche for at least 3 years, might have been more, I'm not counting right now, at least 3 years, hit us with every Black Lives Matter, man getting shot in the street, bleeding out in the streets, people hating cops, Colin Kaepernick, looking for criminal justice reform, all these things, right? And I'm talking about back to back to back for years. Couldn't even go to the water cooler at work without talking about it. And to directly right after, not only propagate a top cop, and I don't just call her that, she called herself that, but not only to promote a top cop, but have the audacity to be mad with people or disappointed with people that can't resonate with it, that can't feel it in their spirit at this point in time. What is that? What is that? If I can't say that and make people see that 90% of what the media do is agenda, it's like a book. And once one chapter closes, once they're tired of using your anger, your emotion, once they're tired of peddling this one agenda, they're on to the next thing. They're on to the next thing. I don't think it gets any more manipulative and abusive than that. To even assume that the American people are ready or willing. And not only that, but trying to strong arm them. That's the part that gets me. Trying to strong arm us into resignating with a cop who, and you know, we need them. We need them, okay? We do need police officers. But let's not act like her history in California was just super progressive and she just came in doing things totally different and she was just a champion of the people and just came in and just changed things and made things so smoothly in California, okay? Because had that been the case, I presume a lot of people would have responded to her a lot differently. So that leads me to believe that either the media really doesn't understand people or they really just don't care about people. And I think I'm leaning towards the latter. I think I'm leaning towards the latter. That's my presumption. They don't care. As soon as they could run with Russia or illegal immigration, the media was like, man, screw that police brutality stuff y'all talking. I wish I wanted to do a video, and I couldn't find a way to do this, but I wanted to do a video talking about the engagement of police brutality during that time, the whole Black Lives Matter time, compared to now in the media. But I couldn't find a way to like convey it how I wanted to, not with like what I was finding. Great Black Shark said, "This is why new Black media is necessary to control our narratives." Absolutely. I always promote and support that. I feel like when you do or can have a platform, because this is how we get the message out to the world about what we care about, that we're not a monolith, that we all don't care about the same things, talk about the same things, we have different interests, and then we're just also regular freaking people too. You know what I mean? Regular people. We walk dogs and do yoga and drink coffee and eat dinner with the family, you know, just like everybody else. And I think that's important, us creating those images. And particularly, I've been seeing a lot of people recently, and I said something about this on Twitter the other day. I see a lot of people coming out saying no more to the bullcrap policies and politicians, no more to the bullcrap movies and entertainment, like we're not with it. So you do have a large population that's trying to kind of break away and break that ceiling and kind of, you know, divert some of the gatekeeping that's going on. So it is happening, and this is a great time, you know, to be alive, and I love what I'm seeing. So I always support that. Oh, occasion talking about it here. I mean, Vald is talking about it here. Queen and Slim is a new downtrodden film projected on the psyche of Black America. I refuse to watch it. So I haven't seen the movie. I've saw a lot of people talking about it. Some favorable, but I've seen a lot of unfavorable. Y'all know, if you've been rocking with me for a long time, I don't particularly I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies. First of all, because some of it is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like mind numbing. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. If something doesn't kind of like keep me interested or is talking about something, I can't really deal with it. But I've been seeing some unfavorable things about this movie, particularly that it's more black trauma porn. As many of you may have heard, the movie about the black bankers, which I was actually very excited to see, because I'm like, we actually get to see another narrative. I said, that's crazy how you can still, I don't know who will remember this, but I literally said this maybe about 3 weeks ago on a live. I was talking about movies, and I said, you can still do movies from the slave era, like that time frame, or from the civil rights era, but make it a different storyline. And I was really excited about seeing the movie about the bank tellers. I can't remember if that's the name of it or what the name was, but it got pulled for allegations, sexual allegations. I mean, come on. We talking about Hollyweird. Who doesn't have allegations in Hollyweird? Like, let's just keep it real. We know why they pulled this movie. I don't know. It's the same way they tried to do the Nat Turner movie. And I'm the type of person, to some extent, I'm like, separate the art from the artist, as long as the artist is not doing, like, doing it in the art, if that makes sense. So, for example, knowing somebody has allegations, but it's not directly like this movie is not about them, I would still be open to watching that movie as opposed to listening to a song by R. Kelly where now I have to think every time you say age ain't nothing but a number. That's like two different things. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So, but I've talked about this. I feel like they do this for a reason, but I like to see, I'm not a huge council culture and kind of just go after people on an attack and stuff like that. That's really not how I move. I'll just kind of, vote with my feet or whatever. I'll see it or won't see it. I'll support or won't support depending on how I feel. But when people are actually kind of standing up for something and standing up for the way they're being represented and the things that are being fed into our psyche and things like that, I definitely support that or whatever. And I think, man, just good times, man. I'm excited. People just ain't accepting whatever anymore. Just like super exciting to me. But so Kamala is out. We'll see where her career goes from now. I think she mostly just wanted power and notoriety anyway. Particularly, and the crazy thing about it is I had kind of been watching her for a little while anyway, just in some of the hearings that she was doing and having those standout moments. I was like, this lady is running for 2020. I was like, she's running. I already know. Cause what did she do in that hearing, y'all? I think I made a video about it or I mentioned it. I think she compared ICE to the KKK. That's what it was. She compared ICE to the KKK. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, they gave her like all that airtime and the media was talking about it. I was like, yeah, this lady is definitely running for 2020. But another thing is Bakari Sellers, the guy that's always over at CNN, he was one of the people initially pulling for her. And now he has a little bit of egg on his face. So a lot of people have been in his Twitter mentions. But I'm of the belief that I don't think media personality, talking heads, and pundits should get behind people's campaigns. I don't think that. Not if you are on national news, because then in my head, unless you're a representative for them, because then in my head, on any discussion, how can you be non-biased? Like, that's just how I think. So when I see a Simone Sanders or somebody like that attach themselves to like a Joe Biden or something like that, I feel like now you should just go and be like a campaign staffer instead of, if he loses, trying to come back to the media and like, I don't know. It's just too much. But I also think that's another reason why Obama has not endorsed anybody yet. A lot of people were trying to give Obama a hard time for not endorsing anybody. But in my head, I'm like, it's too early. You have too many candidates. And because this is such a tumultuous race, you don't want to end up with egg on your face. And so that endorsement could help or hurt, depending on who he puts it behind. And so I actually think that's a smarter move to wait if he even ends up endorsing somebody. So we'll see. I have a feeling he is, though. I have a huge feeling, as we get closer to the end and we narrow down these candidates, Michelle, Hillary, all of them are going to come out in full freaking force. So just mark my words. Hillary is definitely not running at all. She's definitely not running. But all right, y'all. So this last thing I want to just briefly talk about, and then I'm going to hop off, y'all, because I was saying at the end, like, my sleep has just been so off, and I'm like, need sleep. But, so, your boy Trump Balboa, oh, man. Trump Balboa posted this Photoshop picture on Twitter of his head perfectly crafted on this boxer's body, and everybody went freaking haywire. Everybody went haywire. 100% somebody did it for him. This is just my hypothesis, but I think somebody did that for him and either presented it to him like, this will be so good, you'll really get the people going if you post this, or they sent it to him as a joke and he was like, oh, this is cool, I'll post it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm really thinking. Something like that happened. But so I'm like looking at everybody talk about it. Let me show y'all. So I was looking for stuff on YouTube. I was looking for stuff on YouTube. And everybody's talking about it. CNN, Fox 10, City News Toronto, PBS, News Hour. Oh, okay, this one was a year ago. But, so you got all these people talking about it. And I'm like, okay. And I saw an article from, who was that from? I posted it on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I posted it on Twitter. And let me see. And they had posted something like, President Trump photoshops his head onto boxer's body. Unclear why. And I couldn't stop laughing. The unclear why took me out because I know they are losing their crap. Like their heads are exploding because they can't figure out why. They have no clue. They have no clue. They, for the life of them, cannot figure out why. I can't find a tweet, but it was from like the Washington Examiner. It was from like one of those publications. And I'm like, everybody's going crazy. The internet is going crazy. And I think it's funny. I think it's petty, you know what I mean? But it's funny. And the unclear why really made me, I don't want to say realize, but really made me remember, like, what the heck are these people going to do when this man leaves office? What are they going to do? So many clicks, so many views. Whether you love or hate this man, he gives the media something to talk about constantly. I don't care which end of the stick you fall on. These people are eating it up. This is why they will draw out Russia. They will draw out this Ukraine call, anything they can do, because the people love it. And even when you hate it, remember I said this. If you hate something enough, that is the same frequency of love, because you're giving it that much energy. I'm not saying it right. It's a better way to say it that I can't think of right now, but I think y'all get where I'm going with this. Like, we're in an era that people love to hate stuff. You know, people love to hate stuff. This is the same exact thing that is happening. This is why you keep seeing these movies about police brutality come out. It is the same exact thing. People hate police brutality. They so against it, but they will run to the movies to sit there, eat their popcorn, and let these people make money off the backs of their real struggles. What they say they're against. It's the same thing. It's actually weird to me. People are addicted to things they hate. It's very odd. Deshaun said everything is energy. Absolutely. So if you're giving all of this energy to these things, they get bigger. They grow bigger. And that's what the media has not got about Trump yet. People, if your name is out there, if you are giving some, look at what Tulsi Gabbard did. This lady called publicity is publicity. Exactly, Edward. This lady called Hillary Clinton a queen of warmongers, was the first person to come for Hillary Clinton. People love that. People ate it up. It gave the media a lot to talk about. Bam. Now look at her. She waving bye to Kamala Harris. Like, I didn't see that coming. I gotta admit. I did not see this coming. I did not see her dropping out ahead of people like Pete. I just didn't. But anyway, so I'm thinking about all the people that's talking about the Trump picture. And then I'm like, well, who's talking about Joe Biden and the hairy legs? If y'all ever hear me say Joe Budden, just excuse me, y'all, because I don't know why Joe Budden be on the tip of my tongue. But I'm like, okay, bam. Who's talking about Joe Biden? Where are the major outlets talking about Joe Biden? I want y'all to see this video just in case you haven't seen it.
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time. They're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Earl Larkin had a rough time. Some of you knew Earl. I came back as a public defender.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
This dude said, I love kids jumping on my lap. I love kids jumping on my lap. Albeit all of these politicians say dumb things, every single one of them. If I made a video for every single time a politician just said something dumb, I would be flooding y'all with hundreds of videos. But to see the mainstream media not have the same level of energy when all people say things dumb really just goes back to that whole perception thing. And this is, oh my God, Valdi said exactly what I was about to say. You said exactly what I was about to say. Valdi said the media is covering for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is totally incoherent, by the way. This is my thing. Like, I'm not going to hit y'all with 100 videos of what these politicians are saying, because ultimately I'm more concerned with what they are doing and what they are going to do. But at the end of the day, when the media has their picks and chooses, this is the same freaking media that said that Trump was, man, I can't even remember all the names, saying he was like unstable, unfit, this, that, and the other. Keep that same energy. I don't know if y'all have been seeing these videos of what Joe Biden has been saying, and I haven't just talked about it a lot, but at some point, man, come on now. He's incoherent, like Valdez is saying, and I think he's just really starting to slip. And if you hear some of the things he's saying, I actually feel bad for him, because he doesn't appear to be all the way there. And these people are so focused on power, right? So focused on power till nobody around him is trying to protect him in his old age. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me, y'all. How is this okay? And I told y'all from the first debate, I could see the look in his eyes. You can look in his eyes and see that his mind is slowly slipping, and nobody's talking about this. Nobody seems to care. This is actually, to me, I would think, a real health issue. If this was my loved one, I would tell them, we'll get them next time, Tiger. Exactly. Max said it's borderline elder abuse. It is. And I actually, people can say what they want about Biden, but I feel bad for him. I feel bad to see him go down this way. And I think that's exactly what it is, Helena. Helena said, I think Biden has dementia starting. I think that's exactly what it is. And I could tell, dealing with my grandma that had dementia before she passed, that same look, it's a look that you can see. And I think that's exactly what's happening. And the fact that nobody seems to care, like, this is not normal or okay. I don't understand it. And I'm almost thinking that he maybe doesn't even know any better, because he thinks he's okay. I remember my grandma putting things that you're supposed to microwave for 60 seconds, put it in the microwave for 5 minutes, putting like forks and stuff down a freaking disposal, just started doing like all these weird things in her old age. But she doesn't know that she's doing these things or that they're not normal. And I'm feeling like, is anybody around him telling him, maybe you're not okay? Of course, he's going to think he's okay. So, you know, you have other candidates that I think has more electability than him, that I think are resonating with people more than him. So this idea, maybe the people around him just think he's the chosen one. I don't know. But, if this was my loved one, it's just not worth the risk to me. It's not. And then if he gets in office and something happens, you will have all these people now, then the media will want to rehash, oh, well, remember when he was doing this or saying this, or the signs were there. No, y'all don't care now. Y'all don't care now. So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens because y'all, let's keep it real. This man sitting up here saying, I like kids jumping on my lap. And he's saying this into a microphone, and like mainstream media just come on, man. Like, at this point, I just can't take the people. It's just, dude, if this was anybody else, we'll be on a 48-hour news cycle. But, all right, y'all. So, oh, and if y'all have not seen, somebody actually made a cartoon of it. You have to go see that on Twitter or YouTube. You have to Google it. It's the same thing, but they made it. It's his vocals, everything. They didn't change anything, but they made it into a cartoon. And I feel bad for laughing because it's so sick, but it's like funny at the same time, man. And it really makes me like look at where we are with the media, how things are being propped up, or things being pushed down for us to see or not see, and how they're trying to shape our perception of stuff and stuff like this. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's a weird time. Valdi said, keep an eye on Stacey Abrams as his running mate. Stacey Abrams is made to order for the DNC if just is unable to go. I've been seeing a lot of people say that. Do y'all really think like, I don't know, Stacey Abrams, I just don't, for her to not do well in her own state, people keep saying that they think they were trying to prop her up and groom her for some like future run or something like that. I don't know. I just can't see it. Like, I don't know about this though. You could be right. You could be right. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it, but I don't know. She never just, even her speech. When was this that she did a speech? Was that like for the DNC or something? I can't even remember what the speech was. Y'all know the speech that I'm talking about. But she doesn't, like I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, okay? Stacey Abrams doesn't, like, I feel like they're doing the same thing with her. They're running her as the black woman candidate. You know what I mean? I never got anything memorable about her platform or anything she was doing or saying. It was the whole, I'm a black woman, I had a different experience in this country, so you should take my word for it type thing. You know what I mean? Instead of really focusing on those policies and really resonating with individuals. She just never made me feel like anything. So I don't know, but I mean, that's just my 2 cents. But a lot of people have been predicting that voting, so we'll definitely keep an eye on it and see what happens. I do think because the interesting thing about this and why it's so weird is because you mentioned her as his running mate as the VP. I totally think that the identity politics could use, y'all remember earlier in the show, I said that people are moving away from identity politics. It's not on their voting agenda anymore. It's not at the top of the list. The funny thing is that it's not at the top of the list, but I could totally see it working for the running mate. And when you're putting those two people together to kind of push that candidate over the edge, if that makes sense. So I could totally see it working for her as a VP instead of Kamala Harris as the main person on the ticket. If y'all get what I'm saying? So like I said, people are still much into identity politics, but it's not at the top of the food chain. It's not at the top of the food chain. So it probably could really work in Joe Biden's favor if he was willing to do that. But Biden said, Rhonda, you are referring to logic. Democrats push emotions. Yeah, they definitely push a whole lot of that. And Cajun is right, too. Cajun said independents won't get behind banning guns. And I think that was one of the bad things about so many people being so progressive, because like you have to think about those independents and those swing votes. And some people have hard lines and they're just like, look, this is where I draw the line. Like some of this stuff, y'all just going too far or whatever. But all right, y'all, I am about to get out of here. I actually was able to do much longer than I expected, because when I talk to y'all, I get to going. But yeah, I gotta get some sleep because your girl been a little sleep deprived. So that's what I'm about to do. But hopefully I will be putting out some more videos this week. If you have not saw my most recent video from yesterday where I talk about the new legislation, because of the rapper T.I., like people literally introduced legislation because of him. Make sure y'all go ahead and check that out. Thank y'all so much for the super chats, thumbs up, always supporting me, and kind words and everything else. But all right, y'all. See y'all next time. Have a good night. Bye.